Okay, we are live. Can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? So, um, thought I'd go live for a little bit tonight since we did just make the offensive coordinator hire, and there's going to be a lot of intrigue around that. A lot of people going to want to know what's up. A lot of people definitely ready to see what he can do. I've seen mostly positive reactions to this hire. I've seen some negative reactions. So I thought I'd go ahead and go live to talk about it for a little bit. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. I'll give people a couple minutes to rally up. I know most of the Seahawks YouTubers have already streamed talking about the Kubiak stuff. So it's not like this is going to be anything new that we discuss because everyone else already did it, but it can't be a bad idea. All right, people piling in. So, people gathering up. We're coming in close on 50 people. So, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. So, we hired Klint Kubiak. Klint Kubiak is your new Seattle Seahawk offensive coordinator. And I've seen some people be critical of the hire. For the most part, I think people are pretty happy, or at the very least they're optimistic. Maybe happy is not quite the right word because we're not there yet, right? We haven't actually seen good results. So understandably, people are not exactly biting in on everything until we actually see those results. But I do want to emphasize something here. When it comes to an offensive coordinator, the thing that I think needs to most importantly be judged is process. And I think a lot of Seahawks fans are getting way too hung up on results. And in the case of Kubiak, I think the other thing to understand is that if Klint Kubiak had better results, like if he had taken the Saints with all their injuries to a top 10 offense last year, or even a top 12 offense, there's a very good chance he would have gotten a head coaching job, right? So you're not going to be able to get a guy who did a great job. You're going to have to get a guy who did a flawed job, and you're going to have to deduce for yourself whether or not that flawed job is because of him intrinsically or because of his situation. So if you're sitting there thinking, why couldn't we have gotten somebody who called plays for a top 3 offense last year? Why couldn't we have gotten somebody who, lit the world on fire in 2024? Those guys are going to get head coaching jobs. Like guys like Joe Brady, you can't get him as an offensive coordinator. If you're going to get him, you're going to get him as a head coach. You can't do that. So that's the first thing I would ask people to understand. The people who did a great job in 2024 are mostly the guys who are going to get a head coaching job this cycle. So it's not as simple as just saying, "Oh, why didn't we get Ben Johnson? Why didn't we get I don't know, Joe Brady? Why didn't we get I don't think anyone's saying this, but Andy Reid. Can't get those guys. They're too good, they're too valuable, and they're either going to be or already are head coaches in this league. All right. So we've been going for a few minutes now. So I'm going to go ahead and open up to the chat. I'm going to start looking at the chat here, fielding questions. Do you think Klint Kubiak would want to get a new quarterback? I mean, that's really hard to say. You wouldn't think so. He went to New Orleans and it was just like, okay, we got Derek Carr. Let's go with Derek Carr. And at the end of the day, I think offensive coordinators and play callers want the best quarterback possible, and you're not going to get anybody better than Geno Smith right now. So why would he want to downgrade, even if it's getting younger? Because remember, Klint Kubiak is probably hoping that he can launch pad himself into a head coaching job next season. So he's going to want to do as good as he can this year, and you can't do better than Geno Smith at the position. I am worried about why it took them so long to hire an offensive coordinator. Well, it looked like they wanted to interview Stenovich first, and that didn't happen until very late. I really don't think it took that long, all things considered. We haven't even we made the hire before the end of the conference championship games. Holiest hand grenade. You think Klint will pick his run game pass coordinators? You would think he would have a say in it. I do think that those guys, the run game and pass game coordinators, are guys that you would want the OC to be able to pick. But the only guy we have in that category is Jake Peets, who's a McVay guy, right? So I think that it would be pretty reasonable to give him his guys. What type of lineman does Kubiak like? Fast, athletic, or big, beefy stoppers? Well, Kubiak's best known for his outside zone running scheme, right? He's an outside zone run scheme guy, so I think he likes athletic guys. I believe he likes the athletic guys. Now, in New Orleans, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, right? You've got a guy like Trevor Penning there, who's a pure just mauler, but you play the hand you're dealt. And consider that, he spent a year in San Francisco as a passing game coordinator, but look at San Francisco's offensive line. Who will he bring for offensive coaches? I made a video talking about that this morning. I think that some of the guys on the Saints staff might come because the Saints are blowing up their coaching staff. Clancy Barone, John Benton, Rick Dennison, Jari Evans, Derek Foster, Andrew Janocco, Mike Martinez, Kevin Petrie, Jordan Traylor, and Keith Williams. And the guy from San Fran that I would keep an eye on would be Brian Greasy. What if Brian Greasy wants to leave San Francisco to be the passing game coordinator in Seattle? That would be the stuff that I'm looking at right now. Let's see here. Should we put Grant Udinsky to our staff? I don't think you can. Right? I don't think you can. He's the assistant offensive coordinator and assistant quarterback coach, right? If you want him, you'd have to clearly promote him. And I don't think it's considered a promotion to go from assistant OC to like quarterback coach or whatever it is you want to give him. So probably not. Will he be bringing coaches from New Orleans? You would think so, Roy. They should be easy to get. But it's hard to know with these things. Geno may want to join Pete in Las Vegas. I don't think anybody wants to go to Vegas in Irad. They might have to. They might need to. They might be willing to live with it, but nobody wants to go to a team that hasn't won a playoff game in over 20 years and was one of the worst teams in the league last year. The new OC will have input, but if Mike or John likes more physical offensive linemen, then that's the direction they will go. Well, I think they're already pretty committed to guys like Cross, right? And Cross is an athletic guy. And Abe Lucas, and he's athletic as well. So the die is already a little bit cast in that regard, in my estimation. So I feel like we're going to go with the athletic stuff, personally. But at the end of the day, we just need it to be good. And then the offensive coordinator, if he's good at his job, figures out what to do from there. Is Scott Huff still going to be here? For now, he is, but that's really hard to know. That's really hard to know. Where will Ryan Grubb end up? Does he just go to Alabama? I don't know. And I don't really care. I don't think he's going to be in the NFL. All right, guys, we've been going for a few minutes here, so I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming out to the stream tonight. We got, if you count X, over 100 people in the stream right now. Please do me a few things. Like the video if you haven't already. Click the thumbs up button. Helps out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Click the bell for notifications. And those are the simplest ways to help the channel. If you want to go above and beyond, there are many ways you can support more directly. You can do a super chat by clicking the $ in the chat and donate a chat message that I will see and am guaranteed to read and respond to. You can tip by clicking the link near the top of the description. You can become a channel member for $2, $5, or $15 a month. You can pledge to the Patreon. Again, link in the description. Those are the best ways to help support the channel. Thank you. Grubb might get looks as a pass game coordinator. What do you think? I don't think his passing game was good. I thought his passing game was extremely rudimentary. I don't think that would be a good idea either, honestly. Maybe he does, but for my estimation, his passing game was not anything notable. Even the things that he was good at, like utilizing JSN, a lot of people could do that. It's not like he's the only guy on the planet who knows how to use JSN well. Thank you, Nolan. Roy Froelich, thank you for the $2.06. Interesting number. Is that a reference to the area code, I wonder? Because we do have it. Oh, no, it's $3 Canadian. Okay. I was like, 206 is it's not my area code, but it is a local area code here. Cheers, brother. Thank you, Roy. I appreciate that. Yo, Brendan, did all of our other coaches not get poached? So far, the only guy it looks like we're going to lose is Carl Scott. He's going to go to the Raiders. Other than that, I haven't heard much. What do you think the chances are we trade DK? 30%? Something like that? 30%? Brendan, what's your thoughts on Armand Bembo? He's like the most popular mock pick right now. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's going to depend on who's there. The thing is, I don't think Membo's a first rounder at all, so I don't know why he's the most popular mock pick. I don't view him as a first rounder in the slightest. I also heard Kubiak doesn't have an O-line coach in mind as of now. Well, that would make things very easy because I don't think Scott Huff did bad. I think he was given bad things to work with and he had bad circumstances. So if we stuck with Huff, I wouldn't hate it. He did help Charles Cross play the best football of his career. Let's see here. Who do you think we take at 18? It's way too early to really speculate too deeply on that. I like Tyler Warren. I like Kenneth Grant. I like Jonah Savainaia. Do you know if Klubnik declared? He did not. Klubnik is going back to college. In fact, I'm pretty sure he said he's going back to college, Silver A, so I'm pretty sure Klubnik's out. Membo was getting mocked for us because Daniel Jeremiah mocked him early in the first. I never thought of Membo as a first-round pick, but we'll see. There are always things that change late in the process. Do you think we will make other hirings after this? We will make a change at DC? We don't need to make a change at DC. Our DC doesn't even do that much, and whatever he is doing, it seems like he's doing a pretty good job at. We don't need to change the DC. Aiden is fine. Ultimately, it's McDonald's D. Was it scheme or lack of commitment to the run this year? Both. There was a lot of stuff wrong. I don't think you can say it's one thing or the other thing. Wyatt Millam should be the one at 18. I think Wyatt Millam should go higher than Membo. I will say that much. I don't know if I think Millam should go in the first round either, but that's more practical to me than Membo. Hey, Brendan, thoughts on Lions not hiring Engstranded offensive coordinator? Wait, what? Who did they hire? Who did the Lions hire at OC then? I hadn't heard about this. Did they pick somebody and it's not Engstrand? And if so, is Engstrand leaving? What do you think about Ariante Ursary? Well, he's a tackle. Not 100% sure he can slide inside. They got some Broncos guy. Really? Okay, I hadn't heard about this. Interesting. John Morton, huh? That's surprising, but that's also a big red flag, right? That's a big red flag. If the Lions don't think Engstrand's ready to call plays, then probably nobody should. Is cutting Geno an option? I guess T-Money, but here's the thing. It is really, really hard to imagine the Seahawks being competitive in 2025 without Geno. Because if we don't have Geno, it's going to be another quarterback. I don't know who that other quarterback is, but if you look at the options, none of them are even in the same ballpark as Geno. So that means you're basically saying, by cutting Geno, you're saying we're going to not be very competitive in 2025, and we're not really going to get anything out of it. And I want you guys to think about that. Okay, this isn't Madden, all right? Here's what I'm going to say about this. This isn't Madden. You can't just tank and sim the season in 15 minutes. Okay? Think about it. You can't just simulate a season and be done with it in 15 minutes. This is real life. If you take that step back and willingly make yourself not very competitive in 2025, you're going to have to sit there for a whole year and watch your team not be very good. Okay? I want you guys to think about that for a second. You're going to have to sit there for a whole year of your life looking at your football team be not particularly competitive in all likelihood. And you're not even getting anything for it. So I'm not eager to do that. I'm not really all that interested in pursuing that. The only way I'm moving Geno would be if the Raiders want to trade for him and they're willing to give up a lot of significant stuff for him. Is Tyler Warren a good riser as our first round pick since Kubiak likes to run a lot of 12 personnel? I'm open to it. I'm open to it. I like Tyler Warren. Although there is a little bit of caution around an older tight end prospects. What about Justin Fields or Russ or Sam Carroll? I don't know who Sam Carroll is, but Fields and Russell both suck now, so you're not going to be particularly competitive with either of those guys. Oh, Darnold. Darnold's probably going to be about as expensive as Geno's going to be, if not more expensive because he's younger. Like, I don't see how that helps anything. Does Frank Haley stay still? Yeah, they gave him a promotion that's not OC. He's already staying. Do you think Deonte Walker will work well in McDonald's system? I've become more of a Kenneth Grant guy, but I'm interested. Bradford is a mauler. Lucas is 6'6", 320, but both those guys are very athletic. Bradford is actually one of the more athletic guards in NFL history. He just doesn't know how to play football yet, but he is very athletic, and so is Lucas. Did you see the trade proposal from the 3013 where we trade Geno and DK for Raiders 6th pick, Mayer, and second round pick? Yeah, I saw that. I would do that. That would be enough incentive. If we don't get Kenneth Grant in the first, any other nose tackles you want? Well, not necessarily in the first. Maybe Jamari Caldwell in round 5 or so. The Oregon guy, I like him. What grade would you give Schneider for this past season? Like a C minus? Free agency was brutal. Is there any intriguing Saints free agents that might want to come over here now? I don't know if they have any players I want, man. I don't think they have. I don't know what they have that I would want. Like, I'm thinking about it. Nothing comes to mind. Nothing really comes to mind. Upo, thank you for the $5. Hey, Brendan, you going to watch the Senior Bowl on Saturday? It's packed with talent. Most Senior Bowl talent in years. I got nothing else going on. I got nothing else going on. So I imagine I will be. Maybe I'll even stream it. We'll see. But yeah, I imagine I'm going to check that out and see what's up. It looks like fun. Who would we realistically get at the 6th overall that adequately replaces Geno? Well, if you trade those players for the 6th overall pick, you're taking a step back. You know you're not going to be that good in 2025, and you're like, okay, that's okay because we're getting something good out of it. Because you got value out of it, you're accepting that. What I'm saying is, I'm not doing it if I have to cut Geno or give him away for like a 6th round pick. Because then I'm getting nothing out of it. If I'm going to sacrifice a season, I need to get something real out of it. Like when we traded Wilson, we all thought that we were sacrificing 2022. But it was worth it because you got all that stuff in the trade. As it turns out, we didn't sacrifice 2022, but that was kind of a once in a generation type thing where you just fall backwards into a franchise quarterback. Kevin Mullen, thank you for the $9.99. If New Orleans is in cap shiz, should we start looking for a buy low opportunity? Specifically, their O-line is Rattler our new Howell, and why wouldn't Sam Howell not exceed in Kubiak's system? Well, I think most of their offensive line is kind of old now, except for guys like Trevor Penning, and I don't want Trevor Penning because he sucks. Is Rattler our new Howell? I think we're pretty okay with Howell for the moment. I mean, the thing with Howell is he's going to be super cheap this year, and he's already here. I think there's a level of comfort with him. Do you think Josh Allen would come to the NFC to get away from Mahomes? He's not going anywhere. The Bills aren't letting him get away. The Bills are a small market team. They will probably never, even if you gave them 400 years, they probably won't have another quarterback as good as Josh Allen. They're not letting that guy get away. Do you think these second tier QBs are going to rise up the draft boards? Not this year. Not this year. Not this year. Do you think we will try for a quarterback? Well, I'm sure there's going to be somebody that Schneider likes. I just don't know who. It's going to be like Will Howard or somebody like that. Okay, people seriously need to get over Russell Wilson in this fan base. He's terrible at football now, and we don't want him here because John Schneider hates him. And, been time to move on. Been time to move past that. He can sign a one-day contract when he retires. That's it. Starting to get a little bit creepy and pathetic. He's been gone 3 years now, and we still got fans hung up on him. Eric, thank you for the $19.99. I'm watching Time Delayed, but I've been looking forward to your take. Thanks for all the in-depth OC vids. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Thank you. Got to get the videos out when the topic is hot, because once the topic goes cold, it goes cold forever because you've got a guy now. Do you think Riley Leonard could be someone we could get? I think he could be like Jalen Hurts. I'm not a big fan of Jalen Hurts, but he's a capable starter in this league for sure. And you've been able to build a successful team around him. So I could see Riley Leonard being like Jalen Hurts. And there's something to be said for that. I like him. You like Milroe? No. Milroe is terrible. Milroe is like a crappy Anthony Richardson. And Anthony Richardson's crappy in and of himself. Will Pete take Wilson to the Raiders? I could see that. I could see that. Russ plays the style of football that Pete likes or is willing to accept anyway. I don't like Dart. I think Dart's the system quarterback. I like Will Howard more. I would do Will Howard. I like Will Howard. I'm kind of intrigued by Kyle McCord. Dogzilla, thank you for the $2. Wow, Brendan finally opened up Super Chats. I've always had Super Chats open. I'm not sure what you mean, Dogzilla. When's the next mock draft? Probably sometime this week. Who has the strongest arm in this draft? Interesting. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I don't feel like a lot of them are big-armed quarterbacks. We don't have a Penix. I'm thinking. MM would never bring in Russ. I feel like they would hate each other. I think any coach would hate Russ because he's bad at football. And generally speaking, as a coach, you want your players to be good at football. What about Ewers? Stanton likes him. I have liked Ewers less and less with each passing year. I am pretty off the Ewers wagon at this point. Maybe third round or something, but I don't think he's the guy. Yeah, Milroe does have a strong arm. That's actually not a bad pick. What about Dylan Gabriel? I feel like he's taller Russ this gen, Kyler Murray / Russ. I don't feel like he has the arm that Russ does. That's the thing with Russ when he was younger. He had a cannon. How is Geno a system quarterback when our system has been run by Shane Waldron and Ryan Grubb and has featured a mostly very bad offensive line? What kind of system is that? How is Geno a system quarterback when the system has been run mostly by Shane Waldron? That doesn't make any sense. And I don't even hate Shane Waldron the way y'all do, but y'all do, so you're going to have to address that. Brendan, do you have faith that John will address the offensive line in free agency? Not really. But that doesn't mean it can't happen. Yeah, the Dylan Gabriel stuff, I'm not feeling. The guys I like right now, well, I like Cam Ward, but you're never going to be able to get him. I like Will Howard, and I like kind of Kyle McCord. Instead of drafting a quarterback this year, can we just trade a 4th and a 6th for Joe Milton? I feel like we already made our flyer quarterback trade with Howell, and we're going to ride with it for one more year at least. Yeah, you know what? Milroe does have the strongest arm. He's very athletic. He's just not got it between the years. Yeah. So, anyway, guys, back to the topic of Klint Kubiak because people get hung up on his results so far because his results have not been very good. At the very least, they haven't been great. um, Here's what I want to say about Kubiak. Forget the results for a second and think about the process. Evaluate his process. That's going to be more important than results because the results are reflective more of the players he has to work with than anything else. So, what I mean by that is What were the big problems with the Seahawks offense in 2024? Lack of play action, lack of balance, lack of under center snaps. Those would be, I think, the three things, right? Kubiak uses play action at an above average rate. He loves to go under center. He goes under center like 2/3 of the time last year with New Orleans when he had Derek Carr. And number three, he is very balanced when lining up under center in terms of his pass run splits. So those are three things you're addressing. That to me is more important than, oh, the Saints offense only ranked 24th or whatever. Yeah, of course they did. They had Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener for most of the season. Do you think Kubiak needs a field stretcher? And if so, who in the draft? I would take Tez. I do like Tez. I do like Tez. I'd have to look a little bit more into I'd have to look a little bit more into who I think that are the great field stretchers in this draft that you can get, because to me a lot of the receivers in this draft, they're good, but they're slot guys. Like Burden's a slot guy, Ibuka's a slot guy. I think that a guy like Golden's also going to be a slot guy. Does Kubiak hire change our possible O-line targets in this next draft / free agency? It might, but I think that's really hard to measure right now. Who do you think works better in our new system, Sharp or K9? Probably K9, but both will work fine. Both Charbonnet and K9 have proven they can be good zone runners. Oh, Ricky White, is he the UNLV guy? I think I know who that is. I think I know who Ricky White is, yeah. Interesting. Think about the process. What head coach or offensive coordinator or any coach in history was graded on process and not on results? Results are what matter in the. Oh my God. Did anybody think that Sean McVay sucked after 2022? Did anybody look at how bad the Rams offense was in 2022 and go, oh, Sean McVay forgot how to coach football. He sucks now. He should retire. Get him out of here. Did anybody say that? No. They looked at his process and he was still clearly good. You guys are exhausting, man. Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in football, and in 2022, the Rams offense was like bottom 5 in the entire league. If Sean McVay can create one of the worst offenses in football, then anybody can. And it should not be some capital offense that other coaches have created similarly bad results. The last game of the season, Geno played under center more than any other game, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. Yeah, it's an important thing that you have to do here. It makes life easier for the offensive line. It's easier to balance your offense. It's easier for your offensive linemen to prevent pressure because the other team can't key on the pass. Speaking of 2022, was Liam Cohen a good hire for Jags, or did they jump the gun? I really like what Liam Cohen did in Tampa, but I have no idea if that means he's going to be a good head coach. Maybe swap Uchenna Nwosu with Baltimore for Roquan Smith. What? Wait, are you saying we should trade Uchenna Nwosu to Baltimore for Roquan? What? Okay, no comment. No comment. Can we draft a running back this year? I think that would be hard to thread, Julian. We drafted enough running backs recently. I'm kind of over it. I would prefer not to, but if the value's there, the value's there. Have you seen Membo, O-lineman from Missouri? Yeah, I'm familiar with Membo. He's good, but I don't know why he's suddenly rocketed up to first round. feeling like a 2 wide receiver draft year, I'd be okay taking 2 wide receivers. I'd be okay with that. You got to hit on at least one. And you don't have to hit that hard, okay? If you keep DK, you got him, you got JSN, you're probably going to bring in a prolific tight end because of Kubiak's system. So you don't need your third receiver to do that much. How do you feel about JS saying he doesn't value guards? I mean, I think that part of his statement is true. I don't value right guards, but left guard is very valuable. That's the thing that bothers me about what he said. Left guards are super valuable in this league. I have no problem with him not valuing right guard. Right guard is dime a dozen. Okay, whatever. But left guard, that's one of the more valuable positions in football. I like Kenneth Grant a lot because he does two things: a true nose tackle, and it would do wonders for Murphy, get him rushing the passer. It would crowd things a little bit because you've already got the Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy got two splitting snaps, but it's not a bad problem to have at all. How do you feel about Jalen Walker? He's fun. He's fun. I like him. Good player. Not at the top of my list at 18, but he's up there. What do we think JSN and DK's production would look like under Kubiak, or is it too early to tell? I would imagine it would be good because they're good players. Um, how much? That's really hard to speculate on too much. No, I don't want John fired. Brennan, would you rather have Kubiak or Doug Peterson? I like Kubiak a little bit more. My favorite was still Frank Reich, but Frank Reich doesn't want to coach football anymore, I guess. I think he's just gone. I think he's living in like a log cabin somewhere with no internet. Do you feel like DK is needed for JSN to produce as well as he did this year? Well, you need somebody like DK. Maybe it doesn't have to be DK specifically. I want us to draft Donovan Jackson for left guard. Yeah, he's going to be a big target for Seahawks fans at 18, I think. People are going to be into that. And it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. How would you feel about a Michael Williams pick if he falls to us at 18? Yeah, I think I would do that. I would love to add another edge rusher. It makes it easier for us to move off of Nwosu sooner rather than later. I can't lie. One of the reasons why I liked Kubiak so much is because he's going to have his dad helping him, and I think stuff like that is valuable. Don't you think if Kubiak can have success with Purdy, he can get Geno to the same? Yeah, I think what he did in San Francisco was impressive. But it's still Shanahan's show at the end of the day. Yeah, DK is going to have to get back to form run blocking. He's been shaky at it lately. He needs to get better. Yeah, generally, my assumption with players, good players, is it's hard to trade them, and they probably won't get traded. So I would default to assuming that guys like Geno and Metcalf and Woolen don't get traded. I do want to trade Woolen for whatever that's worth. What's the status on Leslie Frazier? He's still here. He's fine. Nobody's hiring him. Dallas interviewed him, but they've already moved on. Thoughts on Jack Sawyer? He's good. I don't want him at 18 though. I want him maybe in the second. Yeah, Leslie Frazier's not going anywhere unless we decide we don't like the job he's doing, which I don't think that's going to happen. I love having Leslie Frazier here. I think it's great that he's here. Jack Sawyer's his studies going in the first round. Yeah, I just don't really want him at 18. I don't feel that way about him. He's good, but does Kubiak use the middle of the field? I'm gonna have to look into the exact numbers, but I think so. Most modern coaches do. Dogzilla, thank you for the $2. Out of left field, should we re-sign Geno? That's what I would do. I would extend Geno 2 years, 75 million. Turn his deal into basically 3 years, 120, and then you do everything you can to try to get him as much help as you can in that time window, because that'll be it. I don't think there's any way Geno's going to be back after the next 2 years. I seriously doubt it. Would you have preferred Hank Fraley over Kubiak? No, definitely not. Fraley has zero experience calling plays or being anything other than an offensive line coach. Thoughts on Carl Scott as a defensive back coach? Would rather move on. He's a relic of the Carroll era. No, I'm open to changing my mind on it, John. I'll look into it more, but my initial take on Jack Sawyer was late first round, not mid first round. If we traded DK, who would be some targets to replace him? That's the thing. This draft isn't great for outside receivers. Maybe there are a few guys, but it's still tough, right? Like McMillan, you're not going to be able to get him, right? So you're looking at maybe Alec Ayomanor, maybe to replace him, somebody like that. But it's not great this year. Most of the receivers are slot guys. Does Kubiak tape deep shots to receivers? Oh yeah. Yeah, look at how he used Rashid Shaheed. Will you still be streaming on Bleacher Report tomorrow? No, I'm going to do that Wednesday. I do that Wednesday, Harrison. Wednesday at 6. And this is a good opportunity for me to shout this out. Everybody, if you're not already, download the Bleacher Report app, make an account, and follow me over there, and keep an eye out for the links for the streams. I need the assistance over there, and I'm going to be doing a show there every week all year. So you're going to miss out on stuff if you're not over there. Period. Do you think Pete is actually going to change? Thank you, Feed Me More, for the $2. No. He didn't change here. Why would he change anywhere else? Would you rather have Higgins or DK? Oh man. Uh Probably DK, but that's pretty tight, man. That's tight. Yeah, I mean, I think that because I don't want to take a step back, I do want to keep DK because I understand the alternative is taking a step back in 2025, and I prefer not to do that, but I don't feel very good about it. I'm frustrated with DK's growth as a player, and I'm not 100% confident he's going to be worth the money that we end up having to give him. But I still think it's better than the other route because the other route has risks too. Like, if you're thinking there's a route that the Seahawks can take that is without risk, then you're wrong. Everything you do is going to bring on some degree of risk of failure. So you just have to learn what risk you want to take. All right, so we've been streaming for about 45 minutes here. I think Restream runs a little bit slow, so I think it's a little bit more than that. But basically 45 minutes. We'll go for like a little bit longer. Maybe another 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll get out of here. And I'll be on Twitch tonight. I'll be on Twitch. I'll probably be doing some Demon Souls. Maybe some Indiana Jones. Maybe some American Truck Simulator. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be playing tonight, but I will be on Twitch. And it's going to be one of those three things. So why not take a step back if it means getting draft capital? Been in average team purgatory for a decade. Taking a step back does not guarantee anything, T-Money. Taking a step back just means you're taking a step back. There is no guarantee that you're going to step back and then just take those 2 steps forward next time you move. Filipino Man, thank you for the member message. Member for 10 months. You play Civ series, Civ 7 coming soon. I did play Civ 5 and I liked it. I did not play Civ 6. I will probably play it, but I might not play it immediately. Unless they put it on Game Pass. My super chat to Brendan was tongue-in-cheek. Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured Dogzilla. And, I think people who get hung up, I think people that get hung up on the fact that we've been stuck in the middle for the last 10 years need to understand that we have made a lot of changes over the last few years. We have swapped out quarterbacks when our previous guy was a legitimate franchise guy. We have swapped out coaches when the previous guy is a surefire future Hall of Famer. So we have tried. And nothing's taken quite yet, but we just got a new head coach. I think this idea that we have to blow it up because we're stuck on a treadmill when we are talking about one season under a new head coach, where we, by the way, got very unlucky to not make the playoffs. And I know people don't want to hear this. We were. If you win 10 games, you should get in the playoffs. We won 10 games, we didn't get in. Sorry, that's bad luck. So, for my part, people acting like there's some necessity to blow it up or take a step back or whatever, to me, that's just like complete lack of patience. I mean, look at all these teams that are bad every year, right? Look at all these teams that are just bad and they stay bad. They take steps back. The Browns took a big step back this last season, right? Does anyone have any confidence the Browns are going to take a big step forward because they took a step back? No. They're going to be stuck there forever, probably. Well, getting rid of Geno doesn't guarantee a step back. Well, it makes it overwhelmingly more likely. It's hard to imagine us getting another quarterback that can maximize the potential of this team in 2025. Jameis Winston's not doing it. Drew Lock is not doing it. 10 wins gets you in half the time probably now. No, that's not true. There are 7 playoff teams per conference. 10 wins. It's very rare that a 10-win team misses the playoffs these days. Yeah, tanking's for losers, period. Like, I think that's the bottom line here. Like, get through all the other discussion that we can have. Like, tanking is for losers, and I don't want to be a loser, and neither should you. Like, maybe you get to the end of a season and you're 2-13 and you want to lose the last 2 games so you can secure the number 1 pick. I get that. But throwing away seasons, no, that's for the booger eaters. We got a haul for Russ and we didn't really take a massive leap forward from it. There's some truth to that, but we did get good players out of it. Problem is, the first 2 years of that new era, Carroll was controlling the defense and doing a terrible job, right? Well, Rick, Sam Darnold is going to cost a lot. Like, Sam Darnold's probably going to get more money than Geno. So, I don't think that's going to work the way you're thinking. Do we sign Ernest before the draft or after? I would hope before, because after, someone else will have signed him. The draft is not for over a month after free agency starts. Have we wasted Noah Fant, or is he just not good? I'm wondering if maybe he's not as athletic as he used to be. For some reason, he looked much faster in Denver. Uh, BPA is cool for some of the draft, but for round 1 pick BPA for the IOL group this year. Don't care if it's a reach for Booker or whoever. Yeah, I'm okay with that. It depends on who's there. It depends on who's there. Is the next YouTube series going to be outgoing free agent decisions? Yeah, I believe so, Harrison. I don't know what else it would be. I think that's probably about right. Have you heard if Matt Stafford was going to retire or not? No, he hasn't made a decision. Would you re-sign Jonathan Hankins? No, he's got nothing left. Cash money. He's got nothing left in the tank. He's had his day, and the day's over. Do you think the Eagles and Saquon outscored Chiefs, or do they three-peat? Uh, I'm going to say the Eagles win. The NFL got what they wanted. They got Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. It doesn't really matter if she wins or not. Think we have seen everything from Bradford, or can he improve? Oh, he can absolutely improve. We knew he was raw when we drafted him. Would you say Kubiak's scheme would help Metcalf or JSN more? I'm going to have to look into that, Abby. LOL, Taylor Swift conspiracy theories. Of course, dude, everybody, if you are an NFL fan right now, you have to have fun with the Taylor Swift stuff. I don't love the Eagles matchup against the Chiefs, admittedly, but I'm going to go down with it. I'm going to say that this is the year where the running game rules all. The cover 2 shell is going to give the Eagles the Super Bowl. Why do you still want Geno? There's better QBs out there. Like who? Was the worthy catch a catch? I didn't expect them to overturn it. It wasn't a catch, but once they call it a catch, I'm not surprised they kept it. I don't know if you already said it, but do you think Allen got the first on the sneak? He did, but again, I don't think they were ever going to overturn that. I don't think they were ever overturning that. So whatever they went with on the field is what they had to go with, and I get it, but he got it. He definitely got it. How much is Cup worth? Well, he's old and gets hurt a lot, so not much. I'd like Brunell as a quarterback coach and passing game coordinator. People would get jacked for that. People would get jacked for Brunell on this coaching staff. I'm hoping it happens. He's done good in Detroit so far. But I heard he's going to follow Ben Johnson to Chicago. What do you think about the Saleh hire by the 49ers? It's a great hire. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with that. Feed me more. I thought that was a graphical mistake. I thought that was on the graphics and there was no physical flag on the field. Like I saw the pop up for the flag, but I didn't see an actual flag on the field. Yeah, if we're going to be straight honest here, Josh Allen didn't play that well yesterday. He got away with a lot of stuff, and I think the mistakes he did make left a little bit on the board in terms of production. He didn't play bad, like he wasn't like Lamar last week, but he didn't play up to his standard. There was a shot where the ref pulled it out. I didn't see that. I think the Jets crash and burn with Glenn as their head coach. I don't think it really matters who their coach is. But I'll tell you, if Carroll doesn't want Wilson in Vegas, I think the only other place Wilson could go would be the Jets. I think that's the only other team that there should be some degree of interest in. Yeah, the goal line sequence, holiest hand grenade. Yeah, I saw that. And not blaming Allen for that loss whatsoever. Ah. At a certain point, Stafford's going to fall off, though. It's got to be coming very soon here. He's been beat up so much in his career. Is Wilson not staying with the Steelers? I don't know why he would, Cameron. Like, I don't know why they would even want to potentially entertain that. How did the Chiefs get a first on 3rd and 8 on a simple swing route? Because they're the Chiefs, man. Yeah, I've seen Skatebo or Scatabo or whatever his name is. Probably mispronouncing it. Rooting for Shoddy, man. Rooting for him. But if you're going to do that, why not keep McCarthy? Yeah, Wilson was on a 1-year deal. He's a free agent. I don't think the Chiefs dynasty lasts when Andy Reid leaves because who is going to succeed Andy Reid in Kansas City? Like, unless they go get like Belichick or something, they're probably going to get a lame duck coach in there. They're probably going to end up with Matt Nagy or Mike Kafka or something, and who knows? So I think the Chiefs dynasty ends as soon as Andy Reid retires. Matt Nagy is the offensive coordinator right now, so he would be a logical heir apparent. Yeah, Kelsey's done. If Kelsey doesn't retire, then he's going to come back next year and not really be very effective. Like, he's already kind of not that good, and he just gets a lot of targets. Why would Andy retire anytime soon? He teases it like every offseason, it feels like. I feel like every offseason he talks about it. Thoughts on Josh Connerly? Seems pretty good from what I've seen, but I haven't looked a lot. Yeah. Kelsey should be playing his last game next week or 2 weeks from now. I mean, he's already doing the thing where he's like an actor. He's like in that show on FX. Like, that's something you do after you retire, man. All right, guys. I'm gonna go and get out of here. We went for about an hour, and nobody's really talking about Kubiak anymore. We've all turned to different topics now. So thank you everybody for coming out. Uh Next time something big happens, we'll do this again, but I don't know when the next time the big thing is gonna happen. Videos are gonna be uploaded tomorrow. Keep an eye out. As always, I will be on Twitch later tonight and Kick. I dual stream on Kick as well, playing either American Truck Simulator, Demon's Souls, Indiana Jones, or some combination of the three. And streaming on the Bleacher Report. And I'm going to say it again, if you're not on the Bleacher Report app, then you should get it and make an account, because that's the only way you're going to be able to watch the streams that I do over there, because they're not going to be put anywhere else. Okay, everyone have a good rest of your evening. Maybe I'll see you later tonight.